Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into one of India's most fascinating and honestly mysterious places, the Jagannath Temple in Puri, Odisha. It's this incredible site, home to Lord Jagannath, who's seen as a form of Krishna or Vishnu and his siblings, Balabhadra and Subhadra. It's much more than just a temple.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a living legend almost. It's not just about the structure, it's the unique origins, these really ancient rituals, some of which are hard to explain, and mysteries that genuinely defy logic. Lord of the Universe, it's a fitting title, really.
Exactly. And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is to sort of peel back those layers, look at the myths, the history, the amazing architecture, even the day-to-day stuff that happens there. Hopefully by the end, you'll really get a feel for this place, maybe have a few aha moments along the way. So yeah, let's dig in. Okay, where else to start but the beginning, right? The mythology, the old texts, the Skanda Purana, Brahma Purana, Narada Purana, they tell this really uh, captivating story. It starts with a king, a dream, and then the deity just
Right.
vanishes. What's the setup?
It's a beautiful story, really speaks to devotion. You have King Indradyumna, who dreams of this deity, Nilamadhava, a form of Vishnu worshipped by a tribal chief, Vishwavasu, hidden away in a forest. So the king, driven by this intense desire, searches for him. But just as he gets close, poof, Nilamadhava disappears. Then Vishnu himself steps in, basically tells the king, okay, find this divine log, this daru, that will wash up on the shore at Puri and carve new deities from that. And that divine instruction really sets up the whole unique nature of the idols themselves. They're organic, they change.
A divine log. Wow, that's quite an origin. It really grounds the whole thing in something powerful.
hmm
Okay, so from the myth, how did it become this, well, this massive temple we see now? Who actually built it?
Right, the structure itself. Well, the current temple, the main one, was started by King Anantavarman Chadagangadeva. He was from the Eastern Ganga dynasty. This was around 1136 CE, but it wasn't finished by him. His descendant, King Anangavima Deva III, is the one credited with completing the main sanctuary, the Vimana, and that big assembly hall, the Jagamohana. That was later, around the 1230s CE.
So a multi-generational project then.
Exactly. A huge undertaking, massive dedication.
And once it was built, it obviously saw a lot of history unfold around it. How did it fare through all the changes, the empires rising and falling? Can you give us a sense of that timeline, its resilience?
Oh, its resilience is key. Before the 12th century, you had that tribal worship connection to Nilamadhava. Then came the construction phase, mid-12th to 13th century. But it wasn't smooth sailing. In the 14th to 15th centuries, there were invasions. They actually had to hide the idols, move them around to keep them safe.
Right.
Then you get to 1568 CE, Odisha comes under Mughal control, Emperor Akbar. The temple loses some of its, let's say, administrative independence, but its spiritual heart kept beating strong. It had a bit of a resurgence under Maratha rule in the 18th century, but then the British took over Odisha in 1803, which brought its own influences. It's this long, winding path that leads right up to modern times with the 1955 Sri Jagannath Temple Act that basically formalized its administration under the Odisha government, making sure it's looked after.
It's amazing how it endured all that. Now, something that always strikes me, beyond this history, are the idols themselves. Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra. They look so different from typical Hindu idols.
Yeah.
But that's the story there. What makes them so unique?
Yeah, this is where you really see the living aspect. Unlike most idols made of stone or metal, these are carved from wood, specifically neem wood, which is considered sacred. But here's the really astonishing part. They don't last forever. They are ritually replaced every 12 to 19 years.
Replaced. The main deities.
Exactly. It's this huge, incredibly complex ceremony called Nabhakalebara. It involves ancient rituals, very precise astronomical calculations to get the timing right, and this transfer of a sacred element, like a life force, from the old idols to the new ones. It's literally a cycle of death and rebirth for the gods.
That's incredible.
And yeah, you mentioned their appearance. Subhadra's idol, interestingly, is the only one of the three without arms, another distinct feature.
Wow. Okay, moving to the building itself. The architecture is just stunning, that Kalinga style. Even in pictures, you can tell it's vast. Can you help us visualize it? Break down the main parts.
Oh, the scale is breathtaking. The whole complex covers over 400,000 square feet,
Yeah.
and it's surrounded by this really imposing wall, the Meganada Pacheri, about 20 feet high. Architecturally, it's classic Kalinga style. You have a sequence of halls. First, the Garpagriya, that's the innermost sanctum where the deities are. Then the Jagamohana, the audience hall. After that, the Natamandir, which was for dance and music performances. And finally, the Boga Mandap, where the food offerings, the prasad, are handled. And towering over it all is the main spire, the Shikara. It's about 65 meters high, and right on top you have that famous Sudarshana chakra, that big disc, instantly recognizable.
And speaking of the Bhogamandap and offerings, we absolutely have to talk about the kitchen. I mean, it's legendary as the largest kitchen in the world, right? And the Mahaprasad it produces. How does that even work on such a scale?
It really is an unparalleled operation, both logistically and spiritually. The Mahaprasad, the divine food offered first to the deities, then shared with devotees, is cooked for thousands every single day. It's all done in earthen pots, stacked up high, cooked over traditional wood fires. Very specific methods.
Okay.
But here's the part that just blows people's minds, the truly perplexing thing. When they stack these pots, the food in the pot at the very top of the stack gets cooked first.
Wait, the top one, not the bottom one near the fire.
The top one, always. It defies, our normal understanding of heat transfer. It's seen as a daily miracle, really, a sign of the temple's divine energy.
That is genuinely baffling. Wow. Okay, my mind is trying to work that out. And there's not the only mystery surrounding the temple, is it? It seems famous for these phenomena that science struggles to explain.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the temple kind of invites you to just wonder. There are 4 really well-known ones. First, the flag on top of the main spire. It always flaps against the direction of the wind. Always. Doesn't matter which way the wind is blowing from the sea, the flag goes the other way.
Weird. Okay, what else?
Second, the temple itself, despite being so huge, reportedly casts no discernible shadow at any point during the day, regardless of the sun's angle.
No shadow at all.
That's the belief, yes. Third, the sound of the ocean. Puri is right on the coast, the waves are loud, but as soon as you step inside the main gate, the Singatwara, the sound of the sea just vanishes. Step back out, and it's there again.
Like soundproofing just appeared.
Kind of like that, yeah, an auditory puzzle.
Yeah.
And finally, that Sudarshan chakra on the very top. From wherever you stand around the temple complex, it always appears to be facing you directly.
As if it's turning.
Or just perceived that way. It feels like it's acknowledging every single person looking up at it. These aren't just stories. People observe these things. They really make you think.
Those are genuinely captivating mysteries. It really adds to the whole aura of the place.
And speaking of spectacles, we can't not mention the Rath Yatra, the car festival. That's probably what many people know the temple for.
Absolutely. It's probably the most famous event. It's this massive annual festival, usually happens in June or July during the Ashada month. They build 3 enormous chariots, completely new every single year, incredibly ornate. And these chariots carry Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra out of the main temple. They travel to the Gundicha temple, which is considered their aunt's house, for a short stay. It's a huge procession, draws massive crowds.
Right, millions, I think.
Yes, and here's a key point, especially for listeners who might not be Sanatan Hindus. This Rath Yatra is the only time all year when non-Hindus can actually see the deities, because they're out in the open, on the chariots, processing through the town.
That's really important to know for anyone wanting to experience it. Okay, so after all this history, these rituals, the mysteries, how is this incredible place actually managed today? Well, in modern times, it's managed by the Sri Jagannath Temple Administration, the SGTA. It operates under the state government of Odisha, so there's a formal structure ensuring its upkeep and administration. It balances being this vital spiritual hub with being a protected heritage site, and while people come from all over the world, it's still the practice that only those who follow Sanatan Hindu traditions are permitted inside the inner sanctum. This ties back to its immense religious significance. It's one of the 4 Chardham pilgrimage sites in India, the really big ones, the others being Madranath, Dwarka, and Rameshwaram. It's considered a journey towards liberation for devout Hindus.
What an amazing place. We've gone from mythological logs to modern governance through centuries of history and these just mind-bending mysteries. Hopefully you feel like you've got a real handle on what makes the Jagannath Temple so special now.
Yeah, and I think what's truly striking, is how a place so ancient, rooted in myth, weathering so much history, still generates this deep awe and genuine wonder. Those unexplained things, the cooking, the flag, the sound, they kind of remind us that maybe there's more going on than we can always easily measure or understand. It perhaps makes you question, just a little, what else we might just accept without really seeing.
That's a perfect thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on the next one.
So the note, it starts, "Thank you for watching. We truly hope you liked it." Pretty standard stuff. But then it hits you with this. We don't expect anything, just a small like, a humble subscribe, and maybe share it with someone who might enjoy it too.